Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Tesla report for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. But before I walk you through the charts, as usual, just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already, subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel, share the content if you would with friends and colleagues, and check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos just like this one. Daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, that is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 ETFs. Weekly analysis in the S&P 500 Index, the NASDAQ 100 Index, the Long Bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube. That is 8 a month that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor. We're always looking for at least 20% moves on those stock picks, and you can check out all of this for no cost for 5 days. We offer a 5-day free trial up front with a wickedstocks.com subscription. So sign up for wickedstocks.com, check it all out. If you don't like what you see within 5 days, you can cancel your subscription at no cost to you whatsoever. Just a reminder that we put out a stock pick on PepsiCo on Tuesday. You might want to check that out, offering longer-term opportunities. 5-day free trial. We'll let you see it for free, of course. On with the Tesla charts for Wednesday. I'd like to start with the big picture, work our way into the day itself. These are the 2 big areas longer term. Sellable resistance at 263.62. And when I say sellable, I'm talking possibly through the first quarter of next year. I'll get to that in a moment. And very viable support, well below the market at 176.82. Also able to contain monthly, if not quarterly, selling pressures. Now, there was a point just a couple of weeks ago that we were expecting that 176.82 level after having closed below the 263.62 channel bottom, but on the way, or over the last week or so, we closed above this descending 1/3 speed line that was based in part on the October low. It is now well below the market at 213.73. Still anticipating what I will just call the 261.77 to 267.37 band of channel resistance. That does correlate well presently with the former channel bottom at 263.62. So that area remains a 3 to 5 week objective. Now, upside today, I've got 246.68 still, that 50% retracement that held the highs last week and is in reach today and able to contain 246.68. I'm sorry, able to contain daily buying pressures. If we push through 246.68, I think you can anticipate an intraday test at 251.30, which is nothing more than a simple trend line off the September-October highs. But if we do close above 246.68, I think that sets off follow-through buying by the end of next week into this targeted 261.77 to 267.37 region. So 3 to 5 day swing traders play the long side if we close today above 246.68. Then expecting by the end of next week this 3 to 5 week objective in the 261.77 to 67.37 region, where we could top out through the rest of the year, quite possibly well into Q1, and fall off again from there. Until then, 246.68 is still a decent support area that you can sell into, at least on a day trade basis. And I will mention downside, I still have 236.62. That is just a minor point now because I'm leaning now on the low settlement price over the last week of activity. Following that high from a week ago, we have 233.59. I like it better than the 236.62 because it also correlates pretty well with Tuesday's low. And so that is the high of the week so far. And if we break Tuesday's low of 233.34, then this pivots south. I'm actually going with 233.59, the low settlement price. So how should I phrase this? I'm going to merely say that holding above 233.59 will keep 246.68 in reach today, where we can place a daily high. And once again, if we close today above 246.68, our 3 to 5 week objective in the low to upper 260s, likely by the end of next week. Now, downside, if we break 233.59, I'm going to say close below. I think if we break 233.59, you can expect this 226.60 level. I don't know why I've got 226.36 here today. but 226.60 remains at 3/8 downside Fibonacci. I think 226.36 was the actual pullback low from a few days ago. So I'll let you take your pick, whether you call it 226.36 or 226.60. If we break 33.59, you can anticipate the 226 handle. And if we close today below 233.59, I do think on Friday we slip into this zone, this combination rising 2/3 speed line at 219.64 and this new descending channel bottom over the last week at 224.23. I think this is the stick your neck out buy area if given the opportunity, and above which this market should make its way over the next few weeks, 3 to 5 weeks, into the low to upper 260s. If we do close below 219.64, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think this thing falls all the way back into the 170s within 2 to 3, 3 to 5 weeks. And yes, on the way down, we would have 213.73. This was our trend defining resistance and then support when we closed above it. Still anticipating the low to upper 260s as a 3 to 5 week objective above 213.73. But it's kind of difficult to call it trend defining support now when I just told you and still believe that if we close below 219.64, this rising 2/3 speed line over the next week or so, I think it indicates a good high probably through the balance of the year. Then anticipating the channel bottom that I showed earlier on the weekly chart at 176.82 within probably 2 to 3 weeks of closing below 219.64. So, I will once again say that 219.64 to 24.23 narrowing over the next few days, able to absorb selling through next week. We could fall back into the zone, then turn higher again within possibly 2 to 3 weeks of testing 219.64. We can make our way into this 260s. If we close below 219.64, I don't see a good reason to be long Tesla as we move into later December. Yes, on the way down, we can bottom out for a day or two at 213.73, but I do think that if we close below 219.64, that is your signal to bail on a long position. If your time horizon is through the rest of the year, or even if it's 3 to 5 days, I do think this market just keeps moving south through the rest of the year with a settlement below 219.64, anticipating this channel bottom at 179.17. And I think that pretty much rounds it out. Once again, I will say we've had a series of buy signals about a week and a half ago above 213.73 that indicated the 260s. And right now, in terms of bullish momentum, a pullback support that you can buy into and then anticipate new highs within a week or two of testing it, it's 219.64 and rising daily. And if we close below 219.64, I do think bailing on a long position, covering a long position, and playing the short side of the market that could be buying 175 out of the money puts that don't expire for a couple of months. I don't think it would take more than 3 to 5 weeks to reach it. Until then, if we slip into the 219.64 region over the next 3 to 5 days, you could do just the opposite. As long as we close at or above 219.64 and rising daily, when we test this area, if we test this area, you could reach for 265 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least a month. You may go a couple of months out on that expiration. And finally, I'll say it one more time, closing above 246.68, I think it's all a moot point, this whole 219.64 business. In fact, we would have to reconfigure this rising 2/3 speed line because it is based in part on the high from last week. If we close above 246.68, I think this targeted 267.37 channel top is likely to be realized by the end of next week. Short-term option traders could play that. Closing above 246.68, you could reach for a 265 out of the money call that doesn't expire for at least a week. You may go 2 weeks out on that expiration. I think that pretty much rounds it out for Wednesday's Tesla. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. We've got a new stock pick, PepsiCo, that was just put out on Tuesday. I'll be back Wednesday afternoon with Friday's Tesla. We have a day off, Thanksgiving. If I don't talk to you, and I won't, this is Wednesday's Tesla. You have a very happy Thanksgiving with friends and family, and I'll be back for Friday's Tesla. Have a great day.